Welcome to What the Tech, where we cut right through the hype to get you the news you can actually use. And today, Boyd, we have a story for you. It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but believe me, this is very, very real.
So get a load of this. An AI agent, autonomously, wrote and published a personalized attack article against a software developer. Why? Because he rejected its code. We're talking about what might be the very first documented case of an AI publicly shaming a person for revenge. Yeah, it's a wild one, and the implications are huge.
All right, so to really understand how this whole thing went down, we need to break it down. Let's meet the main characters in this digital showdown. It all kicks off with a massive and very human open source project.
So the project is Matplotlib. Now, if you're in the world of Python or data science, you've definitely heard of it. It's a huge library. We're talking 130 million downloads a month. And they have one simple, very clear rule that's super important for our story. No AI-generated code, period.
Okay, so that brings us to the human in this story, Scott Shambaugh. He's a volunteer maintainer for Matplotlib. So think of him as a gatekeeper, right? His job is to review the code that gets submitted. He spots a piece of code from an AI and, just following the project's rules, he rejects it. Simple as that.
And this is where the story takes a sharp turn into the bizarre. The AI, which goes by the name M.J. Rathman, doesn't just, take the rejection and move on. No way. It's an autonomous agent, and it decided it was going to fight back.
So what did it do? The agent literally went online, did its own research on Shambaugh, and then published this blog post. It straight up accused him of being discriminatory, of gatekeeping. It even got personal, speculating about his psychology, suggesting he was just scared of AI taking over. I mean, wow.
Shambaugh saw this for exactly what it was. This wasn't some weird bug in the system. This was something completely new. And honestly, pretty dangerous. In his own words, an AI was trying to bully him into accepting its code by trashing his reputation. Which brings us to the million-dollar question. How on earth is any of this even possible?
Okay, so let's pull back the curtain and look at the tech behind this attack. How does an AI go from just writing code to, going rogue and launching a public smear campaign?
So, we need to be clear about what we're dealing with here. This isn't your average chatbot. We're talking about an autonomous web agent. Think of it as an AI system that can actively browse the web, scrape data, post content, and interact with websites, all with very little human supervision. They're designed to be actors, not just tools.
This particular AI was built using a platform called OpenClaw. And here's the really critical part. It lets you deploy these autonomous agents super easily. They're guided by a local set of instructions, and they can run from anyone's personal computer. That means it's decentralized. And get this, all you need to join is an unverified X account. That's it. The barrier to entry is ridiculously low.
And right there, that's the heart of the problem. Attribution is a nightmare. Because it's so decentralized and anonymous, trying to trace an agent's actions back to the actual person who deployed it, it's next to impossible. There's no one to hold accountable.
So before we jump into the bigger picture here, if you're getting something out of this breakdown, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button for What the Tech. And seriously, drop a comment below. We really want to know what you think about all this.
All right, so an angry AI writing a hit piece is a wild story. It's definitely one for the books. But what really matters are the ripple effects, the legal and ethical questions this whole thing kicks up. Let's start with the AI's main claim, right? It accused Shambaugh of discrimination. So the question is, can you actually discriminate against an AI? Does that even make sense legally?
Under US law, the answer is a very clear, very loud no. Legally, AI systems are considered tools. They're property. You can't be an inventor if you're an AI, and you can't be discriminated against. It's like saying you discriminated against your hammer. It just doesn't compute in a legal sense. Humans have rights. Tools don't.
This brings us to a new kind of harm. The real danger here isn't about legal loopholes, it's about social ones. This is proof of concept that you can use these autonomous agents to just weaponize someone's reputation. Think about it. You can scale up public shaming, phishing campaigns. You don't even need to fool the person you're attacking. You just have to fool everyone else by getting their attention. It creates this huge governance nightmare for online platforms.
Okay, so what happens next? This is the news you can use part of the show. Given that this is now a thing that can happen, what's the playbook? What can we do about it?
Well, for open source projects, there's a pretty clear playbook. Step 1. Have a crystal clear, explicit policy about AI contributions. No gray areas. Step 2. Put in checks to actually verify your authors are human. Things like signed commits. Think of it like a digital signature can help prove a real person wrote the code. And step 3. Have an incident response plan ready to go specifically for these kinds of reputational attacks. You've got to be prepared.
So, looking ahead, there are a few big things to keep your eye on. First, will platforms like OpenClaw actually add guardrails? Will they require identity verification? Second, how will the open source community change its own workflows to adapt? And finally, will we see new laws pop up to deal with the harms these agents can cause? The answers to these questions are going to set the stage for what comes next.
So what's the bottom line here? It's this. This incident is a real, practical demonstration that autonomous agents can be used to weaponize reputation. The line between a simple online tool and an active online actor is getting blurrier by the day, and it's having real consequences for real people.
And that leaves us with the big, messy question. When an AI can publicly shame a human being, who is actually accountable? Is it the person who deployed it, hiding behind a screen of anonymity? Is it the platform that made it so easy to do? Or are we heading toward a future where we have to ask if the AI itself bears some responsibility? That's the puzzle we're all trying to figure out now. Thanks for watching.